Hey everyone, welcome to week 6. Hard to believe we've gone through the semester so fast, but I really enjoyed reading your blogs, and I think we've had a great discussion. This week especially, I know the inverted pyramid is always kind of controversial. I know when I teach it there's going to be a lot of opinions about its effectiveness and whether it's even useful. One of the biggest reasons why I do it is because I find in my students they have a hard time understanding what the most important facts of the story are and how to bring those facts to light, how to make sure that busy readers can get to those things quickly. And as I kind of said in the discussion board, I think that's a skill no matter what kind of story you're writing. I mean, even some of the best narrative journalism that I read does that. They have a nut graph in there that tells the reader why this story is important or what this story really means. I can provide a lot of examples. I did a couple in the discussion board if you didn't see them. Go back and look at them. It's a good segue, though, into what we're going to talk about this week. It's how to use those inverted pyramid tactics to do more than just summarize and, tell the most important things that happened, to really add flavor and different nuances to reporting. And before I get too far, I want to tell kind of a funny story. I'm teaching a class this summer at Ohio University of news writing, but it's mostly for English majors. And I introduced the concepts that we're going to talk about this week to them. We had a really good discussion. We had an exercise where I said, okay, now find the nut graph. And they looked at me and they were so confused. And I tell you that story because some of these things that we're talking about are kind of hard to teach, I think. Maybe it's just I'm not a very good teacher. I don't know. But that's why I try to provide a lot of examples. I think these are almost one of those things that you know it when you see it. And that's why there's so many examples. And what was funny with that class is even though they were really confused when we did the exercise, when they turned in their stories later in the week, most of them had used, had written good nut graphs and had used anecdotal leads. So I just throw that out there as if you're confused by some of the things we're talking about, you're probably not alone. Just keep looking at the examples, keep thinking about it. Think about how you can write, one paragraph that sums up your story. In some instances, this is just like your lead, it's just delayed. In others, it's been compared, and I think I've said this before too, to the 5-paragraph essay. This is your thesis statement. Other things that I wanted to mention really briefly is on July 20th, a rough draft of your final project is due. Now this rough draft is just the writing component, none of the multimedia components. One thing that I'm going to do with the projects that you turn in once you get all the multimedia finished is I have a new site that I started for this class I'm teaching right now. Giving students a little bit more experience with publishing online. You guys won't use that, but I'll probably take what you do on Blackboard and move it over to this site. The address is Hans K. Meyer, which is my personal blog, and then OU Online. I'll post that beneath me here as a title. Right here, so you can see that. But check it out. This might give you an idea of maybe what you can do with your publications as well. This is a very simple WordPress site that I created with a free template. It required a little rejiggering here and there, but I think it's worked out pretty well. So take a look. Other than that, that's all I have. I look forward to your blogs, to reading them again this week. We're back on schedule, 2 posts again for the week. I'll finish reading your blog and get them back to you on Monday, and we'll have our quiz on Tuesday. Yeah, the news site for this week's quiz is Fwix.com, W-F-I-X. This is going to be tricky because Fwix is a very locally based site. I'm looking at the one from Columbus right now. I know there's one in St. Louis. I think there's one in Kansas City. And you'll probably be automatically directed to the Fwix site that's closest to you when you go there. So what I want you to do for the 3 questions that I'll use I'll probably have one question that'll just be general current events. So if you've read any news for that week, you'll have seen it. But I want to ask a couple of questions about Fwix. So go on there, kind of explore around. They'll be pretty apparent questions, but I just want you to get another taste, another flavor of the news that's out there for this class. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Thanks again for your hard work, and we'll talk to you next week.